welcome. You're watching The Money Show, your one-stop destination for all your personal finance queries. I'm Kavita Thapliyal, and today it's going to be our International Women's Day special because we'll be talking about women entrepreneurs, their success stories, and how they have walked on the path of financial independence, and how would they like to inspire our women viewers when it comes to achieving financial freedom. So let's begin the show, and we will also answer women investors portfolio queries. That's going to be a very special highlight on the show today. But then let's begin, and the first woman with whom we're going to chat, and we are going to know everything about her financial independence and her professional and personal growth. I have with me Dr. Tarang Gyanchandani, CEO, HN Reliance Foundation Hospital and Group CEO, Reliance Healthcare Initiatives. Dr. Tarang, good evening. Welcome to the show, and wish you a very happy International Women's Day. Great to have you on the show because you are going to handhold and in fact guide our women viewers, help them walk on the path of financial independence and achieve financial freedom. So, just to begin, I really want to understand what kind of an investor are you, because you have such an elaborate career, such a prestigious role professionally that you are into. When I want to look at your aspect of being an investor, how do you handle your money? What is the kind of money rapport do you have? How do you understand investments?
First of all, good evening and thank you for having me over. Happy Women's Day to you as well. So when it comes to me, I think most important thing apart from knowing about where to invest is I think one of the pivotal things. So knowledge about financial investments is also equally important. And second thing I think which I would want all the women to most importantly invest into is themselves. I think the most important investment is what you do in yourself, in addition to the financial investment. So invest in your health, invest in your education, invest in how you can enhance your knowledge about anything and everything that will potentially support you. Now, coming to the financial investments, I think women have always, it has been proven, are somewhere better investors when it comes to money because we have the habit of, saving in little, and we don't realize that when that little becomes a big amount. So I think do your savings regularly, start early when it comes to saving, and we should not have the fundamental basis that okay, we will save after we have spent. I think it should be reverse. We should spend after we have taken out our savings for the rainy day. So
Right.
something like investing into SIPs, into mutual funds.
Right.
And also one most important thing that I want all women to pledge on this Women's Day is to invest into your health insurance,
Very
because I
important.
think that
Totally.
is
Yeah.
something most important.
Exactly. You've worked with so many organizations, institutes, the pivotal role right now also you are playing. I also want to understand, or maybe you can help our women viewers understand the importance of, taking that first step towards achieving your goals. Now, be it financial goal, be it, being an entrepreneur. I mean, you are a great inspirational figure over there. How can they take a step towards that? Because a lot of women are actually coming in that sector now.
I think it's really important that now we are seeing more women in healthcare, and not only in healthcare, particularly healthcare as a industry has always been dominated by women, but now we see more women coming up in the leadership roles, and that's very important. And I think the fact that women have to aspire to not only look upon the other role models, but need to ensure that they become their own benchmarks. So don't just try to aspire with your role models, but I think the most important thing is that be your own benchmark. Wake up to a new challenge every day. uh, uh, Pull up your socks, overcome the challenge, and then this leads from one step to the other of the growth. And I think one of the most important thing for women leaders is mentoring other
Absolutely.
women.
Absolutely.
It's not that you should be the only voice. You have to increase the voice of women in the room.
Right. Dr. Tarang, who's been your role model then?
Well, my role model has been our chairperson, Mrs. Neeta Ambani, our chairperson of our Reliance Foundation, and I have, you know, I had always intended to work with her. Even when I was not in India, I was pursuing my education and doing my training in Singapore. And I used to always look back upon, and at that time, that point of time, she was shaping the Jamnagar township, and the fascination for her started then. And really very privileged to work today with her. And I think she inspires not only me, but many, many women. And I think the most important thing that we need to
Right.
look at as women leaders today
Sure.
is that how we can have more women created who can not only have so it's not only about having a voice in the room, it's also having a voice that creates an impact in the room.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a time for, if not gender superiority, but it is definitely a time to rise up to the level of gender equality. And in the field of finance, that is very, very important,
Right.
because if you look at the statistics, we have only 32% wealth parked amongst the women.
Absolutely. You're right.
So every
Totally.
woman should aspire to ensure that you have more of your own wealth, not in terms of only earning, but in terms of also making the right choices and the right decision with the wealth that you own.
Which is why voices like you matter, you know. One last question to you. What would Dr. Tarang Gyanchandani would give like an advice to your younger self? One piece of advice.
I think one thing that if I would look back on the road that I walked on, I would like to probably change a bit is that I brought myself in focus for me much later. I should have focused on myself and invested in myself a little earlier. And I think that is an advice which I would like to give upon my young self, is that look at yourself, look at your strength, look at your aspirations, not later but sooner, because the time has come. And I guess once you recognize your strengths, and you recognize what you can do, it's just a matter of time when the world also recognizes the same.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Dr. Tarang, for being there with us and being so inspiring and helping our women viewers to actually walk the right path. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me over. Happy Women's Day again to everyone.
Wish you the same. Thank you. All right, let's move on. And now another special guest I have with me is Neha Juneja, co-founder, CEO, India P2P. Neha, good evening. Welcome to the show and wish you a very happy International Women's Day. And let's begin with the message of women financial empowerment. Yeah, your message for our women viewers on this very special day. Although it's Women's Day every day, and we should celebrate ourselves every day. It's every day phenomenal. Yeah, but what will be your message when it comes to women financial empowerment, Neha?
So thank you for having me, and a very happy Women's Day to all the viewers. I just want to make a very quick point about women's financial inclusion, which is that our nation's prosperity depends on women's financial inclusion and more women in the participating in the labor force. For India to become a 5 trillion, 10 trillion economy, and a prosperous, high per capita income economy, we need more women to be financially included, to participate in the labor workforce. And this actually puts more responsibility on us as responsible citizens, especially on women, to go out there, do more work, start more businesses, and yes, take charge of their finances.
If you can disclose this, what was your first salary like, and what did you do with your first paycheck?
So it's very interesting. I have been a serial entrepreneur, so I have never had a job.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
so I've been an entrepreneur
so
now.
How did you find
17...
yourself then? How did you begin this journey of being an entrepreneur? From where did you collect the corpus and the fund to put into your business?
I think as it happens with most businesses, and we started back in 2008, it was family and friends who provided the initial capital. Then, of course, venture capitalists and others came in. But I have to say that I think my journey resonates with a lot of other women who are self-employed or entrepreneurs self-employed, and I think it's a great way for, especially for women, to go out and create wealth, not just for themselves but for the for the economy, entire economy as well. So no job, no first paycheck, but yes.
But then what about struggles? I mean, that is a learning of a lifetime for you. The initial stages, I'm sure. Please share your challenges with us.
There are many challenges to an entrepreneur, not just women, but just any entrepreneur anywhere in the world. It's an exceedingly challenging journey. And one of the things that I want to highlight, because it's Women's Day and the messaging, kind of has to be specific, is the fact that a lot of women get ignored when they start a business. It's usually seen as the fact that, okay, maybe this is a lifestyle business, this is not an ambitious enough business, or this entrepreneur might have some life challenges, later on, and not be as focused on the business. And if you look at the data of women-owned enterprises, women's credit performance, etc., women are actually better investees on just about every metric, and yet we don't follow the data when it comes to women entrepreneurs, and that's a big challenge that I hope just speaking here addresses a little bit going forward.
I also want to understand the way times have changed for women entrepreneurs. Set of challenges might differ, but then how as a society we've become more accepting and more willing to help them grow as well. So if you could just point out the gaps which were earlier, have they been filled? Do we still have certain red flags when it comes to women taking an entrepreneurial journey on their own?
So it's changed a lot. I'm in my 17th year of entrepreneurship. It has absolutely changed a lot. I think we have a lot more acceptance to becoming an entrepreneur, and a lot more institutional and policy support towards entrepreneurs as well in general. But I still think that there is a little bit of hesitation that a lot of women have towards growing a business, taking some big risks, etc. And there are some challenges, some of which we aim to address through India P2P, is the fact that women don't get access to capital as easily. There are various studies, we have data that shows that for every 100 rupees that a woman saves in a bank, she gets half the amount of credit that a man does, everything else being equal. This is just, not following the data and ignoring women kind of at our own peril. So some of those challenges remain, but I have to say that, if I was starting my journey today, it would be a much quicker start than what it was, back in 2008.
All right. I think that will be all. Thank you so much for taking our time today for this conversation, Neha, and for being so inspiring for our viewers today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, on that note, let's take a quick break. But then Women's Day celebration is not yet over on the Money Show, because we'll be joined by Sameesha, who will be sorting out women portfolio queries. And we are having a lot of women investor questions today on the show. So let's take a quick break, and post that, let's have Sameesha do live financial planning of our women viewers.